Hey, welcome to Alum House Sound. My name is Dave, and today we're going to take a little look at me with a new vocalist at my church. So we just recently hired a new girl who is helping to lead worship. She's not a full-time worship leader, but she's a younger girl. She's got some great vocal qualities, but I need to dial in the EQ, compression settings, and everything because she will be consistently on stage. Most everybody else at my church I've been working with for the past 3 to 5 to 7 or even more years, and so I've got their settings pretty dialed in. We use the library on our soundboard to pull back up when people are singing and leading on microphone, so to make sure we get some good sounds in there for them, and everything we know is going to be pretty dialed in and give us a great starting place from week to week. But that being said, this girl, she sung twice prior to this Sunday that I recorded, but I got to play drums. I went ahead and brought my laptop, I multi-track recorded, and I want to show you a little bit of my process of how I go about kind of figuring this out. I know for her specifically, when she goes across her break from her chest voice into her head voice, the head voice is very reserved, but her chest voice kind of explodes, and there's a big buildup at a frequency somewhere around that 1K. I think it's a little lower, but we're going to go hunting and see what we can find out and what tools just right in the X32 we can use to really dial this in. I know if I was mixing down a track, I'd just put like a multi-band compressor on it. I'd put a C6 or something by Waves on it, but I don't have that capability in the board. So I want to go ahead and turn around, kind of get you guys looking at what I'm doing here and see what we can figure out together. So I went ahead and loaded up the scene here. I changed my routing to come from the card instead of the AES 50 settings that we normally do. Now I'm zoomed in on the screen here so you can kind of see what we're doing, because we're going to do most everything right up here on the screen. Now I have the capability to listen to everything here, and I've got a microphone that hopefully allows me to have some flexibility and pick up just the mix right now. So this is what it sounds like with everything. All right, and you probably hear her when she goes to firm foundation. She goes up, and there's a lot of upper harmonics coming into her voice. So I want to go ahead and just select her voice here. And this is the default setting that I have for my male vocal. And my team right now is potentially not coming in and resetting this because we don't have a setting for her yet. And that being said, let's take a look first off at just gain structure. So if I go ahead and select here, we can see gain. Gain is coming through pretty hot. When she goes up, it bounced up to -6 there. So we'll need to make that adjustment. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit and try and see it at -12, which is where we normally set our input meters at our church on a steady basis. So I'm just kind of watching this go through. I could unmute her one channel, but already I've turned it down, and I'm not seeing it go past -12, so that's good. I can also turn off the EQ, the compressor, and the low cut, and just get a feel for what's going on here. This is what we're listening to here. So we can see this build up right here. This is like 700 hertz. I'm just going to go ahead and reset the EQ. We're going to start from scratch here. And let's go through this. So, low cut. I'm going to take all the body out. Add some sound back in. Now I'm going to turn the EQ on and just find that one frequency here. And that's way too much, so we're going to turn it down some. See if we can fix it with EQ. Got this low rumble, which is mostly drum bleed. Let's find this up here. That right there. I want to bring that down. So that's the 1K that I was hearing. And it's 1.7. If we cut that in half, 1,700 divided by 2 is 850. And this is 877. So this seems more like the root and the upper harmonic, if that means anything to you. Now, if I want to keep EQing this, maybe we can test this top part. Anything's going to sound bad boosted that much, but let's take a look at compression now. So I have this boosted up plus 5 dB, but I'm going to turn that down. And let's see about taking out some with my normal settings here. Let me turn off this other compressor. So that's controlling the whole track. But it's making it sound kind of thin. So what I want to do is I want to go hunting, and we'll mute this right now. In these settings here, we always look at the top layer, but there's a number 1 and 2 over here, and we can layer down, and there are some extra settings. Now we know that frequency that is questionable here is in, we found it at 877, but it's kind of a spectrum in there. Sometimes it's a little lower. So what I want to do is actually turn that EQ back to 0. And I'm going to come to my compressor here, and I want to turn on the key filter. When I key filter out, now I can turn this down to that, I'm going to turn it at 800. And we can choose whether it's a low cut or a PEQ, and we're going to keep it at PEQ. And the slope, I'm going to turn the slope down to 2, which makes it a little bit wider. The 3 would be more pointed. And we can see now that it's compressing at certain time frames. And if we listen to it, it's when that note happens. And we could squash it. That's way too much, but. And because I have a very fast attack and release and no hold, it's just grabbing that one portion and letting go. It's keeping the rest of this active, and ideally by taking the EQ out of the picture, what's going to happen is it's going to hopefully let the warmth of her voice come through, and only when she gets that really harsh chest voice push do we then start to compress it. Now I may end up with a blend of this, or maybe I have the EQ but I've got a really wide Q, something like that, where I'm generally taking a little edge off but still keeping the warmth. Let's turn the compressor off and bring her vocal on and see what it sounds like here. So not be really opens up. Now let's listen to it with the compressor. Now, obviously, we're not hearing this in the context of a full mix, so that's something else to keep in mind. Let's just unmute everybody real quick on this loop here. All right, so she is definitely way back in the mix. She's way back in the mix from where she was, but this is just the channel strip. Now, something to talk about really quick, if we look at this, I do have it EQing first and then compressing second. You could switch this so that the compressor was happening first, and then you could EQ whatever is left over. But I want to use the EQ to kind of take the edge off, and then that compressor just acts kind of quick afterwards. But we still have the inserted compressor. I'm using the LA2A. So I am using the LA2A emulation in here. So if I click on effects, we see the LA2A. I don't have it active right now. and that's because I wanted to hear what it sounded like without this. But this is going to do my normal compressing now, where I can control the top end and raise the entire thing up. So let's go ahead and listen to the track, and we'll turn this on, and it's going to get louder just by default. But so this is off, on, and so now I want to dial this in. So maybe I bring this up, but I want to control more. I want to have more peak reduction. So now we've got more level, but it's controlling the whole track when she gets louder. And I can crush this even more if I want to. Turn it back down some. Let's listen to it in the mix of the mix here. So she's still jumping out when she says my. Again, I'd love to have some more, things that I could work with, and I can fine tune this. But the biggest thing I'm trying to do is find this happy medium between that vocal EQ, that timbre that's just kind of biting through. And I could try a different mic. Maybe I put an SEV7 on her, or we're on a Beta 57. Maybe I put her or a Beta 58. Maybe I put her on a basic 58. Which is going to be a little less top end activated into the microphone. We can try different mics, but for what I've got this recording and what's going to happen this weekend, this gives me a good starting point where I can fine tune a little bit more using this recording, and I could flip. We've got 3 or 4 more songs. This is just a loop of one section, but we could try and get a feel for what are the best settings, and then we come up here to the library and we can save. We can save 2 things we want to save. First, we want to save the vocal as a setting. That's going to save the channel strip, the naming, all of the effects that we have that are on the channel strip. But also you can come to the effects, because we changed that LA2A specific to what we're doing. And so we can have an emulation of the LA2A with a preset that we save in here, and we can load both of those whenever she is singing. And because she'll probably be on stage more than our male lead was, we'll probably just go ahead and make these the normal settings and then load in those male settings when that comes up. All right, well, listen, I hope you found that video helpful and informative. Maybe it gives you some ideas, not only about what you can do with your individual instrumentalist or vocalist, or in this case, we're using the special form of the compressor, the channel strip compressor, as a kind of multi-band or a single band compressor is actually what we're doing. And then we're using that second stage compressor, that LA2A, to really kind of do all of the normal compression needs. That LA2A gives us the capability to kind of hit it a little harder, but also be more transparent. It's not going to color that vocalist sound quite as much as some of the other compressors might that are built into this unit. Also, if we EQ out those frequencies, well, she sounds a little too thin, and so using that compressor is just a great option. But also, think about this. The benefit of multi-track recording, we're not doing even a virtual sound check. We're literally just doing a virtual, let's fix it and repair it and give ourselves a fighting chance before Sunday. And so make sure you've got a laptop set up. Now, this is an old laptop. This is a 2012 MacBook Pro. This thing is old. And I've got an old version of an operating system on it. And I've got an old version of Studio One Pro on here. But it still works great. And all I needed to do is record tracks and then push them right back through my console. And so find something that you can do that with in your environment. It's really going to help you out. Listen, if you've got questions or comments about anything that you think I should do differently, or different tips and tricks that you do, toss those down in the comment section below. We're always looking to help out the community and build our knowledge base together. But if you do need some one-on-one help, feel free to find in the description the link to my website. You can fill out the contact card, and we can start a conversation outside of YouTube. But listen, that's it for this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.